Salam alaikum, everyone. I want to welcome you to another episode of the Zoom In on the Halal Metropolis project. I'm Sally Howell. I'm the director of the Center for Arab American Studies at the University of Michigan Dearborn. And I'm here today interviewing Dr. Jaleelah Ahmed, an alumnus of the University of Michigan Dearborn, who is the superintendent of the Hamtramck Public Schools. Salam alaikum, Jaleelah. How are you doing?
Wa alaikum assalam. I'm doing well. Thank you very much for asking.
So how are you and your family? I mean, you're the superintendent of a school district, but you're also a mom with several kids still at home, young children at home. So first off, just how are you guys doing?
It's been an experience. It's definitely brought us together. We have a lot of experiences together, and they also see the work aspect and the high demand of my work, and I think now more than ever they really respect what I do, and offer a lot of praise, and I really appreciate that. It's been interesting. I mean, I saved my weekends to work with my children and just make sure that they are on point with the work that they have to do, considering it is Ramadan. It's hard to do my work and then be a teacher for them and everything else. So the weekends we squeeze some time to catch up and make sure everybody is doing what they need to do.
Yeah, I know this is like a reverse take your kid to work day. It's like, and it never ends.
It never ends. Yes.
Uh, well, so, I mean, in the Hamtramck, it's such a great community, such a supportive, loving community, but also so many challenges, such cultural diversity, linguistic challenges. Not all the families are fluent in English and really able to support their kids in their education. And you've got, real poverty in that district. So the families might not have the technology that they have in some of the wealthier suburban communities. So how are people in Hamtramck, how are your families doing?
I'd like to walk a little bit back and just walk through, our belief system. And in the beginning of the year during a breakfast, the Welcoming Hamtramck staff breakfast, one of the things that I shared with them is the looking at and understanding our why, our purpose as an organization, and understanding that the bottom line, we are here for the students, and we do whatever it takes. And with this has been a theme throughout the year. We look at providing wraparound services not only for our students, but our families as well. We looked at the academics, we looked at the mental health, we looked at moving our newcomer families, immigrant families, from being cultural survivors to being cultural leaders. And with that, we have a lot of families that have been here for 20 plus years. Mm-hmm. And, when we started the newcomer parent classes, they did not know how to get from their home to the school where we were hosting this class. And, they've been here for decades. That's an issue. And the goal is, when we're looking at the district, is we want to be an asset-based district. What are the strengths that we have? And so we started parent engagement liaisons. We started with 2. One was promoted to be a parent engagement facilitator. And now we've expanded our liaisons, our facilitators, and we've got also school and community facilitators. And all of them work together to empower our parents, understand what are their needs, mm-hmm. and understand the resources that are out there. We have multiple partners and providing supports for our families, but it's not kind of spoon feeding them. It is saying, this is the support. Now, how will you get the things done? How will you help yourself? I think that's an important element because, we want to scaffold the support. We want to let go and watch them rise and watch them lead and do whatever they need to do. So it's been very, very uplifting because this kind of energy, this synergy has created everyone to see, you know what, parents do care. Parents will come to events. Parents will participate, will be engaged. I can't begin to tell you how many times, and my very first year when I met with each individual at the school district, and I collected quantitative and qualitative data, I was interested to see perceptions. And the perceptions that I was hearing was parents don't care. Oh yeah, we have a lot of events, but parents will never be here. And it has changed. It has changed. Right now, due to the COVID-19, we have families, we started to see exactly what are some of the issues that we will have. Just forecasting. Number one, do our parents have technology? Number two, do they have connectivity access? And if not, what are we going to do about it? So these were the questions that we had. So the team came together, the team of liaisons, facilitators, and teachers that spoke the languages of our community members and our families. We looked at the households that we have. We had about 2,700 households, and we had a phone-in survey. So each person was had the responsibility to call the household and do a wellness check and also collect the data that we needed. And we are up to 1,000 households, and parents appreciate that support. We understand what are their needs. And we're working.
You're up to 1,000 households in terms of what?
Collecting data.
Oh, okay.
In the past 2 weeks, we've, like I said, we've been calling our families and just kind of doing a wellness check, seeing who needs food, who needs other resources. Are there any mental health issues that maybe we need to provide additional support? And again, looking at what possibility of needs do they have, and all of the individuals or households were flagged based on the language groups. So we made sure that the individuals calling spoke the language English and whatever language group that they follow. So again, understanding our student needs, understanding our community needs, and being able to rise to every challenge and doing whatever it takes is essential in our school district. We've received a lot of praise from Wayne Risa. They said that what the model that we have is exemplary, and to have the participation and engagement in such a high poverty and newcomer immigrant population is almost unheard of, and they'd like to do a case study or something. Wow. And that's really nice to hear, and we're definitely here to provide whatever support we can to other school districts, other educators, but for the time being, we're really, really proud of the work that everyone has been doing, and I really mean it. The work has branched off to partnerships with Detroit Friendship House, J&E Community Relief, Gleaners. We've added a new site, food distribution site, with partnership with J&E. So now we're providing 500 breakfasts and lunches at that site, and it's beautiful. We've even expanded to helping our senior citizens that are struggling and cannot actually go to the sites.
Mhm.
And we take pride in all our community members, and we think that our senior citizens are treasures to the community.
Mhm.
And whatever we can do to support them, we will. Again, I just commend everyone for coming together and doing whatever it takes.
Well, it sounds like, I mean, yeah, the fact that school superintendent is talking about senior citizens in their community. I mean, you really have a lot on your plate, man. And I know, yeah, in Hamtramck, there's like maybe perhaps a cultural difference between who the seniors are and who the families are, who are in your district. And yeah, so Hamtramck, for those who don't know, is a small city located within Detroit, and it's got a very large Yemeni immigrant community, Bangladeshi immigrant community, Bosnian immigrant community. There's still new Polish immigrants arriving in Hamtramck. The city is historically very Polish. Ukrainian immigrants, people from other Arab countries, other Asian countries. So it's just a really, really very diverse district. And sometimes historically, there's been a bit of a tension between some of these communities, especially the sort of older Polish American community and some of the newly arrived people from Muslim majority countries. But it sounds to me like what you're doing is you're kind of maybe bridging some of these differences, because this is a crisis that we're all in together. You know what I mean? And so if you can create more of a sense of community in this moment of crisis, that's an awesome thing to hear.
Yeah, it's very, very empowering, and it's amazing to see the resilience that what, at the end of the day, we're facing this pandemic, this crisis, a global pandemic. Like, this is a big deal, but yet everyone has set aside all their differences and they're coming together. Everyone's been supportive. Really, it's been like, what can I do? I've had people reach out to me from Incaster and other school districts, other communities, saying, I'd like to help. What can I do? Because they see that sense of pride and that sense of, look, we're in this together. What can we do? And let's get together and just do whatever we need to do. And that's been very empowering, and it's again just very motivating for people to step up to the plate.
So do you have any idea, I mean, I know it's early days yet, but and you're perhaps maybe in this situation, maybe there's a little bit less pressure on you than on a lot of other districts, because you have a lot of families where the mom is a homemaker. You probably have a higher percentage of that than in some districts, but I just hear that the public's, everyone wants the public schools to open again, because most households in America now are two-income households, and this is the amount of pressure on families, with the parents having to work at home, and the kids also needing the computer and needing to be on screen and needing parental attention. I mean, I know as an educator myself, my colleagues who have young children at home are just really in a crisis right now, trying to cope with trying to manage everything. So people are sort of like praying for the public schools to open in September, so that people can be more productive individually. But I think that we don't want the schools to open unless it's safe for them to open. So I'm just wondering what your thoughts are about the fall.
So, I do understand the frustration of working parents, and I do understand the frustration of our parents that, we do have a portion of, stay-at-home moms, and this is just as stressful for them as a working parent or anyone else. It is a challenge. It's a challenge because a lot of our families live in very small apartments,
Yeah, yeah.
with large family size.
Mhm,
How do you occupy the child all day long?
mhm.
What can you do? And in addition to that, you as a homemaker have the responsibilities to maintain the home and do everything else. So it is very, very frustrating. But at the end of the day, I think we have to look to see, uh, what are our priorities, and the health and safety and well-being of everyone of our students, of our staff, is something that we're not going to compromise. You know, we're studying the situation very closely. I just met with my team in the morning and I told them, I said, look, we're going to have 3 contingency plans. Develop 3 contingency plans for the fall. One scenario is looking at us opening 100% in the fall, and how will that look like? What do we need to do? What do we need to do in terms of our students, our families, and our teachers, our staff? The contingency plan B is looking at a hybrid. Because I know some school districts are exploring that as a model. What will that look like, and what are some of the challenges we'll face? And then option C would be looking at us continuing the distance learning. And one thing that I've said to our teachers, our staff, our parents was, flexibility is the name of the game. We are doing a different type of learning, and understanding that this different type of learning is going to take time to build some type of mastery in it. We don't want to frustrate our families. We don't want to frustrate our teachers. We don't want to frustrate our administrators. We want to look at this and having a strong foundation. So if this is the platform we will continue in the fall and maybe even later, well, we have developed a strong foundation. But again, I think it's necessary and important that we do look at a variety of scenarios. We do develop contingency plans. Before the governor closed, we had already developed a contingency plan for how would remote learning look like? What do we need to do? We closed the school. We were the first district, I believe, in Wayne County to announce our closure. And then the following day, no students attended school, and all teachers were in the buildings, all staff were in the buildings just to prepare for the remote learning. So it's so important that, looking at the fluidity of this, researching, understanding what are the challenges, speaking with various individuals in the medical field. And we're so blessed to have Children's Hospital, a home-based clinic at one of our schools. So we do have that communication with our nurse practitioner, with our social worker, with various medical physicians that can also provide us with that input. But definitely forecasting and planning and thinking ahead.
Wow. Well, so these are very quick interviews and we're out of time.
Oh, wonderful.
But I thank you for speaking with me, and I also thank you for all the work you're doing in Hamtramck and on behalf of the community there. It's awesome. I wish you a happy Ramadan.
Thank you.
And I hope to see you sometime soon in person. Safely.
Thank you so much. Yes, likewise. I miss everyone, so thank you for having me. Thank you for all the work that you do. This is such a, incredible time in the sense that we do value one another more than ever. And thank you for all that you do. And I look forward to seeing you face to face as well.